Has travel changed my life? About 90% of my life lessons I've learned throughout my young adulthood has been purely through travel. The many connections I've built while I've been on the road, I've met while traveling. And this is both for while I'm in Australia, when I meet other travelers from the eastern states, from Europe, Asia, or for me while traveling, could be like local travelers and Germans. There's Germans everywhere, wherever you go in the world. I've fallen in love overseas. While I did eventually fall out of love these few times, I had a lot of fun memories during these times when I fell in love with these beautiful people that I was hanging out with. From going to all the touristy hotspots to the hidden gems. Trust me, they're hidden gems. Not like, oh, there's this hidden gem in Japan, and there's just like thousands of tourists queuing up to take the same photo. That's not a hidden gem. But I'm talking about actual hidden gems that I don't even like sharing on social media because I don't want that place being filled with other travelers. I've explored thousands and thousands of kilometers across the globe. I always wonder how many kilometers I've traveled throughout my life, both here in Australia, because this place is freaking huge, and around the world, which is an even bigger place, obviously. It's a thought that not many people experience, and it makes me realize like how much of a privilege it is to travel, and so many people take it for granted. Like, I definitely don't. Like, every time I'm grateful to go for like a week in Thailand or a 3-month getaway to Europe, or hell, you know what? I'm gonna say like a little getaway to, for me, Cottesloe Beach. That's like I live in WA, Perth, Western Australia, and getting to Cottesloe Beach, even though it's not like going to Europe, it's still a getaway, and that's still an adventure for me. Travel is not portrayed correctly on TikTok or Instagram or whatever, and I hate these content creators that they're disrespectful to the local cultures. Maybe they're like rude to other, I'm trying so hard not to mention names, like they're rude to the locals, like they think they're trying to get a bargain out of literally everything. They're trying to get a taxi ride for like 10 cents. Or like the ones that are dancing in front of sacred temples or climbing up on temples, which they shouldn't be, or they're feeding to animals like inedible products, which happened to me when I was in Prague. There was these two ladies feeding these, I don't really call, I mean, they're like beavers, but they're not beavers. I'm just gonna call them beavers just to make things simple. And like they were feeding them like chimney cake and ice cream, and I was like really angry about that. But they started feeding these animals the napkins, and that's why I was like, okay, I'm getting angry now. If you're one of these influencers that posts just for content, or sorry, posts for attention or clout as they call it, please click off this video and unfollow me or unsubscribe from me, because this is not for you. I'm not one of these travelers that disrespects the local culture. Oh my god, I know the people that speak rudely to locals, but like I know people that litter, they dancing in front of these sacred temples, or the ones that like, what's like those London or UK guards, and it gets pissed off. If you're one of these people that's doing that just for the pose or just for the gram, I'm sorry, but we're not gonna be good friends. But you've probably seen them a lot online, the obnoxious travel content creators. That's not what we're here for. But anyway, like travel is a privilege, not a TikTok platform. Everyone should travel at least once in their lives, but should everyone like it? And my opinion is no, you don't have to like travel. It's totally not for everyone. To be honest, if you don't like travel, that's totally fair and fine. Like, but I still encourage you to leave your home country at least once. Just to say you went out of Australia or wherever you live, at least once. And if you don't like it, at least you give it a crack. Like, I've been enriched with fond memories that I'll bring later into my adulthood. Like, I got stories to share with my kids, my grandkids if I have them, with any new friends that I make. And like the deepest conversations I've had have been in bunk beds, in hostel rooms. I've been at the bar over cheap drinks. I find that the best icebreaker for meeting new people, especially locals, is trying to talk in the local language. And this is gonna be very scary at first, because you're probably gonna stuff up. And trust me, I've stuffed up a lot of times when I try to speak the local language. But I end up clicking on with people, and a lot of these people, including older people, actually end up speaking really good English. Like, I remember when I was in Serbia, I tried to say how to speak Serbian in Serbian, but it ended up coming out as a completely jumbled mess. But the lady, she was like, oh, she was probably well into her 70s or 80s, and she spoke really, really good English. In fact, she probably spoke better English than me. And English is my first language, and we had a very good conversation. I think she said that one of her family, like a daughter or something, was in Australia, maybe in Perth. I don't know, but she said something about how someone was in Australia that she knew. And we had a very good conversation about like Serbia, Montenegro, Australia, just the world in general. And this was at Lidl, the supermarket. So very spontaneous conversation with a very wise lady. Like, even if you ask for someone's number instead of asking where the bathroom is, it ends up being a very good icebreaker. Because you find a lot of the time, people don't really care if you stuff up, that they'll laugh with you, not at you, and don't think that they're making fun of you because they're not. People would call me an absolutely crazy person for going solo. I quit my job last year to go traveling for 3 months, and everyone there thought I was absolutely crazy, and including like all my friends thought I was crazy, my parents thought I was crazy, and my colleagues didn't think I was crazy. They just freaking hated me. All of them wanted my travel plans to fail. None of them, not even my boss, wished me a farewell. I remember being at the airport, like the days leading up, the anxiety was getting higher and higher and higher, and I was like, oh my God, what have I done? I was just so much fear building up before going, and I remember going into the airport, like this was in Bulgaria, so Sofia Airport, which is probably the ugliest airport I've ever been in. Like, literally looks like it hadn't been updated since the 1970s. Oh my God, I don't know what, buying a charger was so freaking hard because, well, mentally, because I was like, oh, I don't speak any Bulgarian. Like, it was early March, and you got an Australian, going to Bulgaria, buying a phone charger. Fear about all these little things. Throughout the trip, like, people were like, you're doing this all solo? Like, you're freaking crazy. I'm like, yeah, I know, I am crazy. Some people go traveling and come back the same person. I don't understand those people, because every trip I've gone on, even if it's local, has made me slightly different when I come back home. When I got back from my last, from my Europe trip I was talking on about, like, coming home was such a major culture shock. Like, I had been in Europe for so long that my home country had become an unfamiliar environment. None of my friends recognized who I was. Like, I looked the same. I had a bit more facial hair because 2 months into my trip, my shaver broke and I didn't want to buy a new one because they have a different adapter and all that stuff, so I just let it grow for 2 months. It's not this beard, by the way. A lot of my friends didn't recognize who I was, and it was like Europe had become a part of my identity. It was like my second home. I was there in Europe for a quarter of 2025, and that's a freaking long time, 3 months. It was home. I felt so welcome there. And that's a side that TikTok rarely shows you. Like, no one gives a shit about your stupid dance in front of a sacred temple or like a rant on how expensive like a tourist trap is. Oh, this restaurant in the middle of near the Colosseum ripped me off. Yeah, of course, because it's a tourist trap near the Colosseum. Like, no one cares about that. So, oh, you hear that? Anyway, go change your life and book that flight. I'll see you on the other side. Take care.